The moment you enter the music industry, like no matter where you are, you start to see all the dark secrets in the underbelly. If you were thinking about working in the music industry, my advice is don't. So we kind of lost everything, and I had to really build that life back up for myself. I was really going hard with the Airbnb stuff. We built a villa from scratch.
Ground up construction?
A guy was there laying bricks. You succeed not by not failing, but
By not quitting. What's up, guys? Yasir here. Today we have a very special guest, Sasha M. She's a musical recording artist from Singapore with a brand new hit out in 2024. Welcome, Sasha M.
Thank you so much, Yasir. I'm so happy to be here.
Sasha, you have a brand new song out in 2024 called Play Me.
Yes.
It's available on Spotify, Google Play, whatever music.
YouTube Music.
Yeah.
Deezer. I'm really excited about this one. Play Me is actually a song that I wrote many years ago, I think in 2016.
Okay.
And it was like a kind of a rage song at first.
Yeah, I listened to the song. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
I was really impressed. I was like, oh, I see.
Yeah. It's really swaggy, if you think that I'm a game, come on, baby, play me.
Yeah. And so, my question, I listened to it and my first question was just like, who hurt you?
Oh, honey.
Oh, God. The boys.
Too much. But no, this came out of, I guess, I went through a lot of crap in the past. I have to say, there's something that I'm starting to really acknowledge now coming out of that. And it was in different aspects of my life, work, family, personal relationships, really everything. And Play Me came out of one of these instances where it was kind of work related, or business related. I was trying to do something, and then someone was really trying to take advantage of me, gaslight me, trying to manipulate me and try and get free stuff, or you know how it is when you do a business.
Yeah.
I was trying to get you, and it got really bad, and I just got so mad one day, and I just sat down and I was like, wow, if this
You can curse, isn't it? Not a child-friendly YouTube channel, right? If this mother
wants to play me, please thinks that I'm a game, well, bring it on. I had this rebellious streak going on, when I was younger. I feel I've mellowed out a little bit now, but that's definitely where I came from. And I was just so mad and so pissed off. And I was like, well, bring it on, bring it on, bitch. I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah.
So that's where the song came from. And then I actually don't wanna be angry. I would say I'm I don't want to be an angry person. That's something I'm really working on also nowadays. Stop being so rebellious. Stop being so feeling like you're attacked all the time. Because I think now I'm in a much better place, and finding good people around me to make me realize that I can just ditch these people.
Yeah.
And move on to the good people. So I'm in such a more healed place, still healing. But I just don't want to put out angry music in the world, right? So as part of that process of getting myself through that, I wanted to make upbeat music, fun music, music that I like to listen to, which is dance pop.
Yeah.
So that's how the track came out. It was swaggy, dancey, kind of club, but it's fun. You can dance to it, it makes you move, and that's basically my vision for the whole EP, which is something that I'm working on releasing really soon. You're gonna hear from it.
2024. Let's go.
It's the year.
Let's go.
It's a long time coming.
Yeah, I'm actually I want to know a little bit more about the creative process.
Yeah.
And I'm reading this book right now called Daisy Joan and the Six. Do you know it?
No, I don't.
It's actually a Hulu show now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I'm reading the book. I'm a big fan of the author, and it's a book about musicians. And so they talk about the pain of their just life and the band, the drugs, the touring, all of that stuff. And so But one of the things that they do is they really delve into the creative process. What's your creative process for making music?
Oh, that's cool, and I really want to read that book or watch the
Oh,
show
it's
now.
so good. It's
Okay.
so good.
Thanks for the recommendation. For my creative process, so I think I went through a whole journey. At the beginning when I started out as an artist, so I think it helps to like know where you came from because that like sets the tone of how like you got there, you got to where you are. So when I started in music, I actually was in a girl group.
Yeah.
And I've never wanted to be a solo artist. Like just being honest, like I don't want to be alone. Alone. I just want to be alone.
I'm here for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. So when I was in the girl group, we actually wanted to, go as far as we could. We didn't really have any idea of like how far we could go, but we were like, let's just try a competition. And then we did this like performing arts competition where we sang and danced. We had like choreography and everything, costumes, right? And we won the one in Singapore.
Whoa.
And then the finals was in Hollywood. So we went all the way to Hollywood and we competed with all these other teams from all over the world, and we won.
What? Oh, that's so cool.
And we were like, are we world champions? That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't even like, I'm like starting to accept that now. But like it was crazy for us. And we, all kinds of things happened. Then like we got offers to like sign with labels, we got like all kinds of opportunities. And then we were like really, it was so quick for us because we were like, we didn't really think about this as a career. So like we're coming out of the hobby world into the industry world, right?
Right.
And that's a big adjustment.
Yeah.
And that's something like you need mentorship, you need support, you need coaching. We didn't really have a lot of that. So I think this is true of a lot of artists, like you don't have the resources that you need. So we try to make the best decisions as possible at that time. So we did go with a small label based in Singapore, and we thought we did make a prudent decision, I think, at the time. But I think the moment you enter the music industry, like no matter where you are, you start to see all the dark secrets in the underbelly, and
Really?
all kinds of things are happening under the table, like behind the curtains, And I was just so disgusted by it, like yeah, I was shocked, and I was like, I mean, there were all kinds of things. It was like backstabbing and betrayal, which is like par for the course. In our case, it was racism. There was even like sexual harassment. There was
Wow.
all kinds of horrible things.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, it was really tough. And and we kind of like left. We kind of split up, and we like couldn't really handle it anymore.
Yeah.
And that was tough for me because I needed, like at that point I had kind of just gone all in. I had like quit my job
Wow.
to do this full time.
Yeah.
I was a little bit like, well, I don't really have any options right now.
Like I have to succeed at this.
Yeah, I have to succeed. So so that's when I was like, okay, I gotta do this solo, and that's part of the process, right? Because now that I'm solo, I like, how do I create music? Because I don't have a group anymore,
Right.
and I don't produce. I don't even play instruments, you
Right.
know.
You just can sing. You sing your
I
heart out.
right, yeah, and I'm a performer. Like my background is in theater and dance.
Okay.
So like, singing and songwriting is like my most recent skill. Like I don't produce. So like, how am I gonna make this work? So that's why coming back to the creative process, my process is incredibly collaborative. And for me, it's essential to find good collaborators
Right.
to work with. And I'm very happy to say that from that moment when I was like thrown out to the ocean in 2018, like just trying to find my feet and, find my team. At this point, I'm happy to say that I found such an amazing team of collaborators that I work with quite regularly. We just come together whenever we can, like songwriting camps in LA, like visiting people at their places in like Italy, in like New Haven, like in the UK, like Brazil. Like kind of just like make it work.
Yeah.
It's very casual and friendly and supportive. And these people are world class.
Wow.
Like they're like landing songs in all, like pretty much all the ads, like car ads, like all kinds of ads, TV shows, from anything from like Love is Blind to like recently oh my god, what's her name? Simone Biles.
Simone Biles, yeah, the gymnast.
Yeah, the theme song for
Yeah.
Simone Biles show.
Wow, that's
My
crazy.
friends. Yeah, and they're so good. We actually working with them got me success too. Like one of the songs that I wrote with them, we got like placements on like huge nationwide ad campaigns here in the States, and it like made it made me 5 figures just like that.
Wow, just like boom,
Yeah.
money.
I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like things are really taking a turn from like how it was like for me in the music industry in the past, where like everything was terrible. I wasn't making any money. I was putting up with all this shit. Like, you know, there's no security, and now it's just like a full 180.
Right.
Yeah. So I think like having that process of like collaborating creatively with good people, that's so important.
Yeah. And so how long have you been making music at this point?
So I would say that we started with that girl group in 2014, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been like 10 years.
Okay. Wow. 10 years.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've like really grown as a musician, and you've managed to like get in with good brands, and you happen to like monetize your business. Like I looked at your Spotify, and you have like thousands and thousands of streams every day.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. It's a process, right? Like I feel like in the music business, there are so many things you have to do. There are so many channels. Like you can't just work one channel. You have to do like social media. You have to do streaming. You have to do like the corporate stuff, like the sync work, everything, and you have to do live shows, right? So and then I have another channel now that I do, which is Patreon, because now that I'm an independent artist, I have to find a way to like sustain all this stuff that I'm doing, and
Right.
everything costs, right? So so there are so many things that you have to work simultaneously to keep it going. And yeah, like sometimes you just feel so stretched out because you're just one person doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's tough. But and I want to say that like it's rewarding, not just like financially, because that's like sometimes, but it's very rewarding in the fact that you are building something of your own that you can be proud of.
Yeah, of
And you have
course.
control over, you know, that you have creative control. You're not, you know, at the mercy of some random exec or like some sleazy douchebag, you know, anymore. You're owning this, and you can build it into something that's beautiful, wholesome, and that can help people. And I think that really drives me.
Yeah, I mean, I think like one of the beautiful aspects about music is that how deeply you connect with people, and then also like, you know, like you said, like you are an entrepreneur. Like at this point, like music is more than just music, right? Like it is the music industry, and people forget about that part of it.
Yeah.
Are you like you talked about like you have a Patreon, you talk about your relationships with all of these producers and collaborators and industry people who, you know, manage like commercials or TV or whatever. Are you doing all that by yourself? Are you like a one-woman show at this point?
Handling those relationships, yes, that's me. I would love to say that I have help. I've looked into sort of like hiring a VA or hiring someone to help with marketing, you know, like running ads or something like that. But it's hard to find good talent. I think this is true of anything you do.
Of course.
It's hard to find good talent. So I've been struggling, but I want to say that in very recent times, I've started to find people that can really help. Like, for example, when I stopped working full time in entertainment, and I started working in this day job that I have. I was like, I now don't have the time, right? Because like I used to not have the money, so that I would do all the work by myself.
Right.
And then I got good at that, you know. But then it's very draining. So now I'm like, I actually don't have the time anymore. I have more money. So now I'm gonna start like trying out agencies, trying out, you know, PR people, getting, you know, putting that work in front of people that, you know, do that all the time. So
Right.
it's just easier for them and faster. And so yeah, I have some PR people that I work with. I have and then aside from that, like I guess it's more like a network of agencies that like trying to like find me shows
Yeah.
possible. And then also if I put up my own show, like for example, I did a pre-EP release listening party in Singapore at this like really cool venue. And I did that partnership myself. I got like sponsors myself. I had like all the invites and the tickets, and well, it was free, but like invites and everything. And then as I was doing that, my friends who are in Singapore kind of just saw me, and they just volunteered their time.
Right.
And they were like, I'm gonna help you do this. I'm gonna help you man the bar. I'm gonna help you like buy drinks. I'm gonna help you, like set up the sound system. I'm gonna help you take pictures and videos. And I was just so blown away by
Wow.
the generosity.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like, oh, it feels like I'm alone, but actually, if I just keep going and doing this thing, people are gonna see what I'm doing and they'll support me.
Right.
And that's really encouraging.
Yeah, it's nice to have like a team of people and that can help you to like achieve your dreams. And my whole thing is like most people want to help you. Most people want to see you succeed, especially if you surround yourself by good people.
That's it. Yeah.
Now you mentioned like tours and concerts and stuff. Like how many concerts have you done? Where have you toured?
Okay, so this is funny. I like to tell this story. When I was full-time as an artist, performer, I had this dream that I want to do a world tour, right? World tour with my songs. And like, that's how I see the world.
Right.
But since it's been pretty tough, and I was like, okay, how am I going to do it now? And I took a day job and everything. Now I kind of go to places because I can work remotely. I'll pick places to go to, and then from there, I'll try and do shows when I'm there. So I see it as kind of like a reverse world tour.
Yeah. A local on the world tour.
Yeah. Like, make it happen. Whatever way you can make it happen, just make it happen. So I've managed to perform. I think it started in Toronto. I did a show there. And then I did a few shows in Singapore. And then I did a couple of shows in Rio de Janeiro. And I'm trying to work on New York. Like, I want New York to be the next one.
I mean, I was going to say, it's summertime in New York right now. Are you going to do a show while you're here in town?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm exploring my options. You can bet that I'm thinking about doing it. If it makes sense and I can make it happen, yes, and you'll get the first invite.
Oh, yeah. And you know who else is going to get an invite? All of you guys.
Yes.
So please.
.com.
Yo, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, Sasha M. When she drops her tour dates, I'm going to put the information in the description. So if you're in the New York City area, please check her out. Stay tuned because we're going to be talking about her personal finances and we're going to be talking about her background. So hit subscribe.
Subscribe. You better do it.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have Sasha M today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Esther.
If you haven't seen Sasha's video already, she did a segment on her music and her personal finances. So I'm going to link those below in the description. But today we're going to be talking about your background. Where are you from? Tell me about your life.
Oh my God.
Why should we hire you?
Well, I'm very talented, very capable, multi-skilled.
I mean, like you're from Singapore, right?
Singapore, yeah.
Born and raised?
Born and raised. So I lived there all my life. I used to hate it so much, and I wanted to get out of it. So I traveled a lot, but now that I'm traveling a lot, I kind of appreciate it more. Or maybe it comes with age. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm from Singapore. I grew up in a very how do I say, conservative society. People are very traditional. They're very have a family, follow all these rules. They're very cultural as well.
Right.
And it was really hard for me growing up because I felt really stifled by a lot of the rules and the expectations of society. And I just felt really like I didn't fit in, right? I didn't belong. And so I think that I've spent so much of my young life trying to break out of the society that I was in, the communities that I was categorized into.
Right.
And trying to find my people, right? My community. So that's kind of characterized everything that I've done, really. Like not taking a regular job, not working in the government like most of my peers, not working in corporate, back then, wanting to be an artist, I want to do my own thing. So yeah, that's kind of me being rebellious.
Yeah.
Young. Yeah, and then what do I say now?
No, I mean, I think you said a lot in that. I've been to Singapore. Are you is your entire family from Singapore, like going back like a billion years, or like what is
So
the?
Singapore is like only 50 something years old.
Okay.
We're like younger than probably this building.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah, so we're all kind of like like 3 generations only.
Okay.
So my ancestors are from Indonesia.
Okay.
Yeah, which makes me an ethnic minority in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, because Singapore's like 70% Chinese.
Should I call you Ibu Sasha?
Yeah. No, but sister. All right, you know some stuff.
I've been around the block.
I see you.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, so I think Indonesians, like especially Javanese, which are like my people, they're kind of like characterized as being very like hardworking, like bookish, like the first businesses in Singapore were like Indonesian or Javanese printing presses. They're very into like spreading knowledge, and starting businesses. And I feel like that reflects a lot in my dad actually. Who, my dad was a badass.
Really?
Yeah, he's so cool. He's my inspiration. So he was not English educated. Singapore was colonized by the British for a while.
Okay.
So everyone sort of like started to learn English, and opportunities would come if you were like English educated or Chinese, just because there were so many Chinese people.
Right.
But he was not neither of those. So he was not English educated, and he wasn't an ethnic minority, and he just taught himself English, and he got so good at it that he actually eventually, like most recently, became an editor at or like a big deal at the English language newspaper.
Whoa.
And like for me, that's just so impressive to see how he pulled himself up through the ranks.
Yeah.
He built, like, we came from nothing, right? And like he almost single-handedly built a comfortable life for him and his family.
Wow.
And I respect that so much, and like I draw inspiration from that. And so when he passed away, which was when I was 16, it was a bit hard for me, because I was like, well, he's been shouldering this, family all this time, and like, what are we gonna do without him? And so we kind of lost everything, and I had to like really build that life back up for myself, because even though I was the youngest, I think my family didn't like deal with that really well. And so sorry.
Let's I don't have any tissues.
No, it's all right. I'm just a waterfall.
It's okay. Okay.
So I think the rest of my family kind of like splintered at that point, and it was really hard, and I was like not even of legal age yet to be like in control of my finances, so like couldn't really make any decisions. So I had a guardian, but like the moment I was able to like be an adult, have my own finances, I was like, well, I'm gonna do my best to create a good life for myself. So I tried to be prudent. I tried to be frugal. I tried to like make good money choices. And so a few things that I've done that I'm proud of today is that I don't have any I didn't take any student debt.
Okay.
So I don't have, I got some other debt because I tried to like invest my money into like this business opportunity, and it completely failed. But hey, you don't succeed if you don't fail.
No risk, no reward.
Exactly. So I cleared that all off. Like I don't want any debt. I took 3 jobs to clear that off.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done. I want to move past this. I want to like really like refresh my life. So I cleared that.
What year was this?
This was right after COVID. So the business was like tourism related.
Okay.
And so during COVID, obviously the tourism industry died.
Yeah.
And the entertainment industry died. And that was what I was doing as my job.
Yeah.
So everything kind of died. And I was like, I will not die.
I am resilient.
I am resilient. You will not kill me. So yeah, so I took 3 jobs and I was like, I'm paying off all that debt. I'm gonna clean my slate. I'm gonna start a fresh life, you know. And I did. And yeah, and I kind of just drew inspiration from the fact that, you know, like we can get out of this. Like if my freaking dad could like build us from like a tiny house to like have a nice house. We had a nice house for
Yeah.
just by like working his ass off. Like I think I can do that too.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's me.
Damn. That is badass.
He's badass. I want to be badass too.
Well, I mean, like you. First of all, you're very brave. I feel like it sounds to me like you went through a lot. I mean, with the passing of your father, you taking this, going into debt to kind of like start to be part of like an entrepreneurial journey. And you're like a recording artist who like tried to make that work. Like tell me about like that risk appetite. Like where does that come from?
Yeah, I have a massive risk appetite, as you can see.
I am like terrified of this. I am like the definition of conservatism.
No, I see you growing your own thing. No, I think that's smart. I think that if I had a choice, well, ideally, how people would like start, for example, doing a music career is that they would have a job that's stable, pays them, then they have savings, and then, you know, like they build something from that, and then you're kind of like starting from a solid ground.
Yeah.
I did not do that. But in a way, my solid ground was already disrupted by the fact that my dad passed away. Like everything kind of broke apart. And for me, it was like, well, it's now or never, you know, and especially as a female artist, it's very, there's like a sense of there being a time for you to do that. Like if you wait too long, you're like too old, you know, like you're not attractive anymore, you know, whatever, you know, especially in Asian society. So there's that, which is a stigma that I want to break. I want to say that you can be an artist at any age.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm like gonna make it happen. So yeah, so I was at that point in time, I was just like, well, it's now or never.
Right.
I just gotta go all in and gotta do whatever I can. And a few choices that I had to make at that point were I needed to free up my time.
Okay.
To keep myself open to opportunities.
Of course.
Right? So I needed to be flexible. I needed to not have a desk job, you know. And then the other thing was I need to be in control of my finances as well, because like if these opportunities required me to have money, then I needed to be able to free up that money real quick.
Right.
So I didn't make any like long-term investments. I didn't do anything because I was like keeping myself open to any opportunities that could come. Because I really believed in music, right? And I had some opportunities like sort of coming. And that's when you realize that in the music industry, a lot of people lie.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Just to take away from this, be careful. Like, if you were thinking about working in the music industry, my advice is don't.
And let's just be clear, you are in the music industry right now.
I see that shit.
And you're like, fuck that.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Get out of there. No, but like, it's true there are a lot of people in the industry that are trying to take advantage of aspiring young artists, especially young and people who come from money. And I was young, but luckily I didn't come from money, so I just couldn't afford, you know, to be taken advantage of financially. But there are so many people out there that will lie about their connections, about their abilities to get you, you know, opportunities and stuff like that, just to get money from you.
Right.
It's really sad. I see so much of that actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. So they're like vampires.
I mean, yeah, they're there. They're definitely there. So I think one of the skills, you know, in life that's important is just to be able to figure out who are the people that you can trust.
Yeah.
And just, you know, try and take care of yourself, and also keep your finances good. Like, don't make bad decisions. Easier said than done.
Of course. Like, we all have the desire to like achieve our dreams, and like we push ourselves a little bit further than we should in order to get there sometimes, and it's not healthy all the time.
No, and especially when you think that if you make a big investment, you'll get a big reward, right? But like, and that's what, coming back to risk appetite. Like, it's so funny that when I was thinking of like what should I invest in to like help me to get my financial goals to build my music career, would I invest in my music directly, or would I invest in a business that would help me to get stable so I can do my music? And I chose the business, the tourism business, which ended up being super unstable, but like it was more stable than investing in my music.
Tell me what was the tourism business opportunity?
So I had a friend that was living in Bali, and she was doing a lifestyle business in Bali. So anyone who like lives in Singapore or in that area, a lot of people are starting all these like lifestyle businesses in Bali. And I had the opportunity to help her with that. And so it was like an Airbnb. And so if you look on my Airbnb profile, I'm like a super host.
Wow.
Actually, I've stopped that for several years, but like at some point I was like really going hard with the Airbnb stuff. And I was doing all kinds of things. Like I built with my friend, like we built a villa from scratch, like a brand new villa. And then we like got
Like
it
ground
fully-
up construction?
Yeah, like a guy was there like laying bricks to build like the thing. It had already been designed, but like we were able to come in as it was being constructed and like make decisions about like what the space should look like, you know, how we wanted to decorate it, what kind of furnishings, what kind of lighting, all this stuff. And it was
Right.
really exciting to be there, I think, at the ground, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that I think that's something that really excites me. I think that's why now I love startups. I love like building projects from the ground up because I like to take things from 0 to 1. That's like a tech thing. But I just love building things, you know, and I think that there's the biggest opportunity that comes from when you start at the ground. So that's why my risk appetite was so big because I was like, you know, you start from the ground, you invest a small amount, you reap big rewards. It's not that easy. But yeah, I want to say that as I got older, my risk appetite has definitely decreased. Like I'm a little more conservative now. And I'm definitely taking the like sensible route of having like a day job and like having that stable ground,
Yeah.
and then from there building on it. And yeah, it's just so much better. And I think that, but I don't regret, you know, like having done what I did, because if I hadn't sort of gone all in at the beginning, I spent 5 years in entertainment. I really like, you know, rolled up my sleeves and learned a lot about like music, about building a business. I worked in different startups at the time, so I did a lot of things, and all of that is helping me now to do things better.
Right. Wow, shit. Wait, so you had this, I'm like, first of all, I am like fascinated with people who do real estate entrepreneurship. I just had a gentleman on from Korea who built a $100,000 Airbnb business in Brooklyn.
That is sick. I love that.
Jian Bei. You can find his video below. But one of the things I wanted to ask you was, you're doing Airbnb in Indonesia, right? In Bali. What was that business like at the peak? And then you said you're no longer doing it?
Yeah, no. So it was a very lucrative opportunity back in, I guess, like 2016, 2017. Bali is the hottest tourist destination in Southeast Asia. And everyone who comes to Asia, like lots of people who stayed in my villa were like coming from Europe, from the US. So they come a long way and they like to stay for a very long time. So this Airbnb business, it was very lucrative to do this in Bali around like 2016, 2017. You know, lots of people come all the way from Europe, from the US. And, you know, they were happy to pay for a nice villa. And it's a good life, you know, like there's full service. You have a manager taking care of your every need. You have a cleaner. You have a pool, a private pool. You can have someone to drive you. So it's like luxurious, right? So we were doing well at the time. And then, so I went kind of like all in with that and really like try to take like a long-term lease with my friend and, you know, get all the furnishings. And we've splashed out on furnishings. We had
Wow.
teak wood custom built furniture.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we really invested in this thing. We like splashed out on the furniture. We had teak wood furniture custom built for our place. It was like expensive. I designed the stuff myself. It was really fun. But like we really wanted that to be like a long-term thing.
Right.
And guess what happens when you go all in on something?
People fuck it up.
In this case, it was COVID.
Oh, even worse. When the world fucked it up.
No, global pandemic. Yeah, so that kind of died, and then I just had a lot of debt. That's how it is, I guess.
So what happened with the house? Do you still own it? Did you guys sell it or?
So you can't buy property in Bali, so you get like a long-term lease.
Okay.
But it wasn't that long-term, and I guess we just kind of like let it fizzle out. I wanted to go back and like check on it, but then life just took me in a different direction. So I honestly don't know what happened to this stuff, actually.
Wow. So somewhere in Indonesia, there is a bunch of furniture.
Yeah, very nice, custom built. If anybody, I shouldn't advertise this, but like, like it's probably abandoned now, and like if anybody is looking around, they'll probably find it and like take it in their houses.
There is teak wood furnishing abandoned somewhere.
No, I'm just kidding. They probably spit it out by now.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, you know.
So I mean, I think the lesson here is that like when you're running like a real estate Airbnb business, like not everything is gonna go perfectly.
No, even if you try very, very hard. I tried very, very hard. Everything was good, and then COVID. So yeah. So but that's just it, right? Like you gotta find a way to make that stable ground for yourself.
Yeah.
I think about it as like kind of like me trying to do the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Finally,
Yeah.
you know, like starting with stability and security. I think safety and security. So like that was me trying to like be secure financially, but like it didn't work. And then I was like, well, if this is not gonna work, then I'm gonna have to find something else. And that's how I was like, I'm just gonna be a creative double lifer, as they call it.
Yeah.
You know,
A creative double lifer.
Yeah, and
I love
that's
that.
you too. Creative double lifer. You have a creative thing, and then you have a job, and like the kind of, you know, you have that security, and then you're also doing a creative thing on top of that. And then I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really excited to hear a little bit more about the numbers here. So we'll pause there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen it already, Sasha talks about her music, and we're going to talk about the numbers in the next video. So check that out. Hit subscribe.
Subscribe.
What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we have Sasha M. Woo! Woo! We're going to be talking about her financial situation. So if you haven't seen the video, Sasha is a Singaporean musician, and she's also been an Airbnb entrepreneur. Those videos are going to be linked to my channel below. But I wanted to ask you a little bit more about kind of like the financial aspect of, you know, being a musician, being an Airbnb entrepreneur. So I'm very excited to talk to you about all of that. This is like, I'm a finance channel. I love talking about money.
Okay.
I am obsessed.
I hate talking about money. Well, let's talk about money. It's important.
So there's multiple aspects of your life here, right? So like, let's just talk about your personal life. A lot of Americans go into like a huge amount of debt to go to college, and you're college educated. And so tell me about, do you have student debt? Do you have personal debt?
Okay, straight up, no student debt.
Woo!
Yeah. And also, finally, at this point, no personal debts.
Okay.
So proud of myself.
We are all proud of you.
Yeah. So I think that's super important. I just tried, because I was kind of like on my own from when I was young. I didn't have like a safety net, you know, I don't have like parents' money to like support me, or, you know, a trust fund. We love a trust fund. But I didn't, right? So I was like, well, I've got to make decisions where I don't get into student debt.
Right.
I actually got accepted to go to college in NYU.
Wow.
Yeah. I was accepted into Tisch School of the Arts in the directing program. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be a theater person, you know. And it was just so expensive. It was ridiculously expensive. And, you know, like if I were to pursue that, I would then spend as much money as it would cost to buy like a house.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, well, do I want a college education or do I want a house? And I was like, a roof over your head is pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I can try and get education somewhere else. And I did, and I went to National University of Singapore,
Okay.
which is also a world-class university. So not that bad. And I kind of like got through with like some student bursaries, which I was eligible for because I was an orphan.
Okay.
So yeah, so shout out to the government for helping me out with that. I really, really appreciate
We don't
that.
shout out the government too much in this country, but shout out to the government, I guess.
Different government. Yeah, yeah. So that really helped me not have student debt. And then I took on some personal debt when I was trying this business because, like I thought that it would get me to some sort of financial stability. And it didn't because it died because of COVID. So, yeah, but if you don't try, you don't know. And if it fails, then you just try again. So I took
Amen.
So I took 3 jobs and I worked my ass off to pay off those debts so that I could start over with a clean slate because I hate being in debt.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate.
Yeah, no debt, no credit cards even. Like, I think I just got a credit card this month. This is the first time I'm getting credit cards.
Wow.
Because I finally feel like I can take on some credit. But otherwise, I just, no debt at all.
Wait, so if you haven't seen the video, Sasha talks about her Airbnb business in the video where we talk a little bit more about her background. But just to bring you up to speed, bring the viewers up to speed, you had an Airbnb in Bali, Indonesia. You built it from the ground up. How much did that cost you? Did you do the construction or did you kind of partner and then you furnished it completely and then you ran this Airbnb business? Like, how much did that all cost?
Yeah, so I'll share this for anyone who's thinking about doing an Airbnb business in Bali, which there are a lot of people. That endeavor, I think it really depends on like the size of the place that you wanted. So we took a 2-bedroom separate villas each, me and my friend. So I was kind of just helping my friend with this business really. She was doing all the like business, like legal stuff, and I was just kind of like supporting with money. But it's not that crazy to invest in Bali. I put in probably like on my end, like 40,000.
Okay.
Yeah, for the whole thing, including custom furniture and everything.
That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, but if you wanted to get a place in New York City,
Oh God. Yeah, you're no less than like 400,000 probably.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So compared to that, this was a easy investment to make. But it was a lot of money, and we were making good money for a couple of years.
What year did you start?
2016, I want to say.
Okay, so from 2016 to 2020.
Yeah, well,
Ish.
yeah, 2016, 2017, 2018, and then 2019 it kind of started going down. Yeah, with COVID. So so it was doing really well for a period of time, and then it didn't. So I lost a bunch of money. I'm not gonna say how much, but it was it was something I had to take 3 jobs to make up. So, but it was doable, and I cleared my debts off in, I want to say like under 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I was pretty happy.
In 1 year.
Yeah, less than 1 year.
So you were doing this for multiple years though, right? Like it sounds like you were like cash flowing pretty substantially.
Yeah.
What were you doing with that money? Were you investing it or were you like balling hard?
I wish. No, from the beginning, I've always been putting money back into what I was doing. So aside from the Airbnb business, I also had a entertainment business
Okay.
in Singapore. So I had like a company where I would like either be sourcing for talents or be the talent,
Okay.
events and stuff like that. So performers and things like that. I would help people to find them for shoots, for corporate dinners, things like that. So that was the other business, and like all of the money from that business would go right back into music, right, and building that career. And then all the money from Airbnb was going back into like basically paying my bills. And I really compartmentalized it that way because I was like, it needs to.
Everything needs to be standalone businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to like take away from anything. And for me, like the food and like rent is the most important thing. And
Right.
whatever else I can put into music comes from the other business. So I was like diversifying my risk
Right.
in a way. yeah, and yeah, I unfortunately never made it to the point where I could like, splash out on a yacht party. you know,
Not yet.
well, yeah, it's gonna happen. But yeah, still working on it. I think that there's a lot that you can do to still grow. I want to still grow a lot. And I want to do it in a like healthy way and a safe way as well. And I think that, sometimes when you want to do things right, like you can't take a lot of opportunities that are easy and fast
Right.
because you don't want to compromise on certain things. And so I would rather make the right choices that are slower to get there than to make like poor choices that like are fast and furious and then like end up crashing in the future.
Yeah.
I don't want to like, I don't know.
Yeah, we want to be deliberate and not like burn it all down.
Yeah, I don't
right?
want to be like a train wreck, at the end of the day. I want to survive. I think like being a success is when you don't fail. Like, no, hang on, let me take that back. Success is not when you fail, but when you quit.
Yeah. Ooh, success is not when you fail.
Yeah, but when you quit.
Okay.
Wait,
what?
my brain. You succeed, not by not failing, but
By not quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, that's more accurate. Yeah. You have to continuously push yourself. You only fail when you throw in the towel.
That's it. Yeah, and also, having no money will force you to throw in the towel. And I was like, I want to make sure that I can keep going. So yeah, that's why I had so many businesses. I was trying to like keep it going in different fronts. Yeah, still trying to keep it going.
Yeah, well, I like that fighting attitude.
Thank you.
A quick question going back to your Airbnb business. Were you ultimately profitable at the end, or would you say you ultimately like net negative?
I would say that we were definitely cash flowing. We were profitable, sort of like in the time period that we were at. But like if you looked at the long-term investment that we had planned for, we weren't able to keep making profit for the time period that we needed to recoup the cost.
Right.
And so ultimately, I still had debt from that period of time.
Right.
Yeah. So that was really unfortunate.
Yeah, and but you paid it off within a year.
Yeah.
And now you're a career woman, right? Like you're still doing the music industry, and we all appreciate that. Sasha has a new single out right now, so you can check that out on Spotify.
Check it out.
Link right here. But my question to you now is like, now that you have a corporate job, do you work for a U.S. company, a Singaporean company? Like what are you doing now?
So good question. I work for a Singaporean company.
Okay.
And I will preface this by saying that I didn't want to work for anybody. It's hard coming out of entrepreneurial world to like being an employee again. And I think it like for me the most important thing was finding the right culture fit.
Right.
Yeah. So I experimented with the 3 jobs that I was doing. I experimented with different industries and stuff like that. And one of them was tech. And I was like, can I, as a performer, even deal with working in tech? Like it seems like a completely different world.
Yeah.
Like
it's very rigid, but it's flexible and rigid at the same time.
yeah, and like I'm so unfamiliar with it. Like I'm from a theater background. I did dance. I'm doing music, and like tech is like they use a different language, like Python or whatever.
Yeah, like literally though.
So can I even get in that? But yeah, that was my that was when I was like, you gotta keep pushing yourself. This is all about personal growth.
Right.
Like
All about personal growth.
If you want to get to the next level and you don't push yourself, you're never gonna get there. You'll always be stuck. I was definitely feeling like I was in a rut at that point in time because I just didn't have enough money to do anything. I was facing so much crap from the industry. I was going through a lot of like personal, like emotional issues that I like come out in my songs. You will hear all about them. And I was like, I'm so stuck. I need to get myself out of this.
Right.
And so this, trying a different industry was really my way of like bringing myself out of that place, out of this like scarcity mindset,
Right.
into a place of growth. And honestly, it's been the best thing now. Like I really feel like right now my life is at its most optimal because I can like have financial security. I can travel. I can meet lots of different people. I can find like opportunities even for music, and they're all kind of like interconnected with the work that I do and the places that I travel to.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Wow, that's so awesome. Wow, that's like, I think going from like being a independent artist and musician to like taking on a corporate job is like, Harry, like you've just been an entrepreneur, right? And now people are like, I'm putting a one-on-one in your calendar.
Yeah, that's it.
And they're like, oh, we want snippets.
What are the minutes of this meeting? I'm like, I don't know, watch it yourself.
Yeah. But so you work for a Singaporean company and you're like kind of traveling all over. You have a lot of flexibility in your life and you're making good money. And so my question is like, now you're investing, right? What is your investment strategy look like today?
Yeah, I guess honestly, I'm relatively new to investing, but also not really, because at the beginning of, I guess, my life in music, I made a financial decision to whether or not I could do music full time. And actually, I had a financial advisor. Shout out my financial advisor. By the way, you should get a financial advisor like right out of college. But she was the one who told me, all right, if you want to do music full time, which is an extremely risky business, you should be doing this and this and this. So she started me off with investments when I was like 20 or 21.
Okay.
And so I'm just doing like bonds and like safe stuff, but then she also has like a bunch of risky things that
Right.
I think like I don't remember how many percentage of that goes into the high risk, but maybe like 20%,
Okay.
and the rest is all like stable. So the difference, I already have that going. The difference now is just like, now I have more cash to put into savings and investment.
Right.
So I'm just keeping it going. I'm no longer doing like extremely high risk investments like the business, like the Airbnb and my company and everything.
Yeah, that's like extremely high risk.
Yeah, I mean that's like the most risky. So I'm stopping that. So everything now is like kind of stable. I think it's doing pretty well. I want to say it's like between 8 and 12% growth.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty well.
Over the last couple of years? Or...
Not the last couple of years, but like overall, like since I started.
Okay.
Yeah, the last couple of years have been horrible. Well, this has been good for a period of time. But anyway.
2024 has been a good year.
Yeah. But previously it was.
But do you invest in Singaporean companies or American companies, or how does your portfolio set up? Do you do all of this from the Singaporean lens or the U.S. lens? Because I don't understand the Singaporean financial system.
Oh yeah, me neither. My financial advisor does all of that. But she kind of like finds me funds that I would put money into. So,
right.
And usually it would be like a basket of like tech companies, right? A basket of like manufacturing companies. There would be splits with like US, more US heavy ones. There would be some like Singapore, and then a few of the US countries. Singapore is pretty strong, I think, like economically, so like it's pretty safe to invest in the Singaporean companies. So yeah, she kind of decides on that, and then she'll like make adjustments whenever like something's not doing well, and she'll be like, okay, you want to pull out of that, you want to like put more into this. So I just outsource all of this brain work to her. I don't like particularly research into companies and stuff like that, because I'm like, my brain is on my music and like building that, and then now in like my company, like my startup, so I just want to like leave this to her. Also, she's very good. I think that really helps.
Yeah.
Not everybody has a very good financial advisor, but she's very good.
Now, does she take your money, or does she just kind of like manage it through, like by giving you advice? Like how does that work?
She'll take it. Actually, she'll take it and she'll put it into like whatever stocks and bonds. And then I have a platform where I can like access it whenever I want. Okay. So if I need to like pull it out to invest in like, say I wanted to like really do a world tour, or like I want to do a Japan tour, maybe. I'm thinking about it. But maybe I want to tour in Japan and like I need like a lump sum of money. I can pull it out. Yeah. And so it just makes it easier, like knowing that I have that security, like a little like a buffer of money.
Yeah, 100%. And what are your like financial goals over the next 5 to 10 years? So
I'm okay. A little bit of Singaporean context. at a certain age, I'm not gonna say what the age is. You can figure it out, but it tells you how old I am. But at a certain age in Singapore, you start to like want to buy a house.
Right.
And because there's a lot of like grants and stuff like that, so that makes it easier for you to like apply for housing. So I'm definitely in like a house buying phase right now.
Ooh, she's an adult.
Level. So I'm definitely looking at apartments in Singapore. And I just wanna. And my approach to it is that all right, now I've built more savings with this job that I'm doing. I'm in a much better place to be making this kind of big ticket purchase. And I want to make sure that it's not just like a roof over my head, but it's also kind of like a hybrid investment.
Yeah.
So I want to do rental with my place in the future. I'm actually doing rental with my place right now.
Okay.
Still,
Like an apartment that you rent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the place that I'm renting, I rent it out when I'm not in the country.
Right.
And like I also share it with like co-living kind of situation, like flatmates, because it's so expensive to live in Singapore.
Oh, for sure.
It is so expensive. So that's how I kind of like manage that financially. And that's something, and I actually love living with people. Like I hate being alone, right? So I love living with people. It suits my lifestyle. So I think when I buy a house, I will want to continue like co-living and like finding people to live with, and that helps with the rent. And yeah, that all kind of just works out.
Yeah. And when are you planning on where are you in that process? Are you like looking? Have you picked a place? Is that something you're going to do in the next couple of years, or like where's your head at?
I aim to get a place in the next 1 year, maybe 1 year later. So I want to give myself this 1 year to like really start researching into it, planning out my finances, hitting some savings goals, figuring out like what loans would make the most sense, and then looking at neighborhoods. We have some really nice neighborhoods, but like some like places that I wouldn't want to live in. So I want to make sure that it fits my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then I'm like a little ambitious, so I want like a big apartment with like 4 rooms or 5 rooms.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love 4 rooms.
Yeah. That's it. So
That's bigger than this apartment.
yeah, I like space. So my current place is a 4-bedroom, and I wanna like try and have like another 4-bedroom when I buy.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. That's a big financial goal though. So but yeah, it would be a dream to be able to like actually own a place like that and like keep it going. And just like have something a little bit more stable to build my music career, you know?
Yeah. Dang, that's sick. Well, I'm wishing you all the best in that endeavor.
Thank you so much.
Sasha, thank you very much for coming on my channel. I have one last question for you. Do you have a book recommendation that you think has been really helpful in your life or in your career?
Yeah. I would say in my personal life, this is more of like a sociological book. It's called Surrounded by Idiots.
Okay. Surrounded by Idiots.
by a Swedish author, Thomas Eriksson. My housemate actually gave it to me. Housemates should enrich your life. And she definitely like shared this with me at a good time, because it was a time when I was trying to, get back into like society, like working in a company, like figuring out how to deal with colleagues and stuff like that, coming out of entrepreneurship, right? And so she said, here's a book, which is actually about corporate, how do I say, personas.
Okay.
Yeah. So what it does is that it categorizes people into 4 different personality types.
Right.
There's like, for example, red, which is like a very assertive, go-getter, sort of person, leader, natural leader. There's blue, which is like a very technical, like engineering type person.
Right.
There's green, which is like a sort of kind of people pleasing, like wants harmony.
Very personable.
Yeah, friendly, but like wants harmony. And then there's yellow, who's like creative, crazy, fun, all over the place, which is me. Definitely yellow. And then and she said like this was a study in which they studied different characters in a workplace and found ways to manage or deal with the different personality types in a workplace. And so that really helped me to transition out of like entrepreneurial mindset, where I was like, I'm my own boss, like my rules are the rules, my way or the highway, and then into like, okay, how do I deal with working with people like that? How do I manage different personality types? And that would just really help me a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that like understanding the context of who you are and who you're working with allows you to do business and build relationships more effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks again for coming, everyone. Sasha M.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been an honor.
Of course. And check her out on Spotify and other music platforms. And she will be touring around New York.
Yeah, around the world.
Around the world.
Catch me around the world.
Any upcoming tour dates will be below. Thanks again.
Thank you. Subscribe.